Okay, so for individual people, so you have that section, we need it. We need like, okay, and then that page person. Okay, and then take that house. Just delete this. On slide. Okay, and they're up. Here we go. So all right, all right, all right. Okay, Mike's here.
Killing one tank. Hold grapple. Super base grapple makes super short.
And then, okay, finally. Good.
Ellie.
Physics doing better hard than it was too cool.
There is this research paper.
Why people think tribally is the name of the section. Look how long it is. To this, like less than a minute, and I can't believe
that mostly we believe what we believe to fit in with our tribe, and that, in the most important way, is
but why?
highly rational.
But why? It is, but why?
Humans are very social creatures, and for most of our evolution, we've depended on each other for survival. Being ostracized from the group is almost as bad as walking off a cliff. If we question the status quo by rejecting what those around us accept as true, we jeopardize our place in society.
Man, I've learned that people are not as dissimilar as we think, that there is
on each other for survival. Being ostracized from the group is almost as bad as walking off a cliff. If we question the status quo by rejecting what those around us accept as true, we jeopardize our place in society.
That was really good. That's a good point. No, he's making a lot of points here. The problem is that I'm so frustrated with is how little people understand about all of this.
Man, I've learned that.
So like this, okay, so this right here,
Question the status.
this right here, if we question the status quo by rejecting
what those around us accept as
what those around us accept as true, like this is a judgment claim, and so this is a what statement. He provides no how or why for why that exists, other than he just said we need our tribes and we've depended on our tribes for survival. He's not saying what forces this problem of ideological conflict to result in fear of ostracization from your own group. Why can't I just highlight the name? Whatever. Very ASI. Oh, fuck. What? Forgot what it was. I thought it was this one, cute text only. So she used the default font right there. Now it doesn't give what it is. Oy vey. Okay. Why would this come up? Deeper relaxation when I search for hard rock music royalty free. I guess it was just not. That's wild though.
Heavy metal has always been dominant.
So let's get into some detail. John, are you ready for a journey to rough and tumble South? I think so too. Anyway, the first lineup of Rock Goddess was basically the classic lineup plus one. Aside from the Turner sisters, there was school chum Tracy.
My gosh. How we solve this ideological conflict, inspiration, a good American. These are all videos that you need to make. Individual videos that you need to make. I have the dark side trouser right here. This one's got. Um, so potentially this whole thing needs to merge together. And maybe with this as well. All three of these just need to be combined. And Yeah, this doesn't explain why people think tribally. It's only explaining that we need our tribes, and then making the judgment claim, which I agree with, that we'll listen to the rest of it to see if I'm wrong. But I've already watched it, pretty sure. So this, wait, sure. Um, I'm thinking how I want to organize this. Take needed to analyze. Okay. That's the same as this. Videos to create. Um, like agree to disagree shouldn't be here. It should just be underneath ideological conflict should be resolved. So at the very top, the elephant in the room is, and we all this. Okay. Okay, this is out group though. This one's in group with the same thing. Like, do I do this? So here's the outgroup criticism that works. This is out, and this is also an in-group problem. Let me look that up. All right, so like the main thing I'm trying to show here is this: why people don't learn they're wrong. There's a long list about that of motivated reasoning. Too sharp. don't know if this works for this side. But it does over here. So what we want is like to say, okay, so lack of motivated reasoning. So would it all be under infighting then? So criticism equals hate. All forms of criticism are hate. Anyone that criticizes when I have to constantly do that? Can I just see this always? Why does it go away? Oh, there we go. Did I fix it? Oh, with infighting. Right? Release our own using a double stack. And this connected equals right here. This is what intellectual sin is. So Dr. Tribalism has intellectual sin. Oh, I'm sorry, no. The unconscious sin.
As some of you may know, I recently had a conversation with the left-wing streamer called Destiny, and judging by the reactions and even the thumbnail of that video, it's safe to say it went very poorly. One might even say the vibes were off.
Should I say the N-word?
So, before I kill myself tonight, I figured I would explain sort of my thought process about, what my goals are on YouTube. That's a joke, by the way. I will never kill myself, because I watch Art Chat.
Say it with me now. You should never kill yourself. Exactly. You guys are learning quick.
My fundamental goal is addressing political polarization. Every mature adult knows that your childhood experiences shape who you are in adulthood. And one important thing to know about me and my motivations is that I grew up in a household.
Okay. So then we go here to, so let's do script. So what we need is, I thought we had one for care for integrity, right? We judge different people. Okay. So then add page, down. And then so the argument he's making here is that people.
So, before I kill myself tonight, I find political polarization. Every on YouTube. That's a joke, by the way. I will never kill myself.
Exactly. You guys are learning quick.
My fundamental goal is addressing political polarization. Every mature adult. household knows that your childhood experiences shape who you are in adulthood. And one important thing to know about me and my motivations is that I grew up in a household saturated by conflict. And so, for better or worse, I am wired inescapably to internalize external conflict and to try to play the mediator as best as I can. A lot of people will dispute that being a mediator is even the right strategy in our current political environment, and that's fine. I think they're completely wrong, but that's a separate issue. My interest in Destiny is not just because he's sort of the default influencer for intelligent people who are interested in political and philosophical ideas, but because he's sort of the leading figure on the forefront of this massive technological and political and media shift from old media to new alternative media. And my biggest issue with him is he says a lot of stuff that is, I would say, unproductive when it comes to building bridges, isolating the genuine extremists on either side, and uniting the center. He doesn't do that very effectively, in my opinion. My goal with talking to him is not to convince him or his audience of anything, because I do not believe that is my job. I just operate by say what you believe to be true as best as you can.
Okay. I'm gonna let him finish. But it's very fucking retarded.
In my opinion. My goal with talking to him is not to convince him or his audience of anything, because I do not believe that is my job. I just operate by say what you believe to be true as best as you can and see what happens. And that bears all kinds of costs, but
Not your job.
Talk on either side and uniting the center. He doesn't do that very effectively, in my opinion. My goal with
All right, they use a race community. It's good. I'll give World War II. already took 2 doses of Tulsi. I have a full lot left. So yeah, just it's gonna have to go enough. Okay, hold on. Let's put things into the top. Integrity. Okay. So care for integrity. This seems to be okay. Here we go. All right. All right. So we've got individual. How we can solve this? Ideological conflict must be resolved. He talks about tribalism. All right. Getting into judging Gift Chung.
With talking to him is not to convince him or his audience of anything, because I do not believe that is my job. I just operate by say what you believe to be true as best as you can and see what happens. And that bears all kinds of costs, but
Yeah, I need like a. Like I need a color for that. So say what you believe it is. So effectively finds.
it frees me up to just say what I believe to be true and not worry about trying to win an argument or maintain a certain perception, because I do not give 2 flying fucks about what people think of me. That's why I ban all comments that disagree with me or put the Easter Island head emoji in the comments to make fun of my elongated head. Anyway, I just wanted to follow my curiosity and ask him questions about, well, had he even seen Vivek's plan to abolish the Department of Education? What did he know about the Make America Healthy Again movement? All that stuff. Because I, like many people I'm sure, rely on Destiny to be a reliable left-wing voice, at least some of the time, on important issues, like with the Twitter files or a lot of vaccine stuff. He has fundamentally shaped how I view those issues, and in a way that I think equips me to have a more accurate perception of those issues. The primary issue I have with Destiny that underpinned our disagreement is this whole facts versus vibes debate. Now, despite how it may have been perceived and the degree to which I contributed to that perception. My point about the value of intuition does not terminate with just go with the vibes, bro. I'm speaking to a much deeper philosophical and neuroscientific point about the degree to which emotions, motivation, and unconscious processing plays in our decision making. Like I said, I ban most comments that disagree with me. However, I let some slide, like this one. It occurs to me you're not being very consistent in your own enlightened sense.
Can't tell if I really feel like he's just being tongue-in-cheek when he says that he bans people that criticize with him, but how much he says it, I'm now confused. Does he actually ban? Okay, so this isn't banned, it was 4 days ago.
Next month, I'll be doing an.
When you lean so heavily on your schizo point of view. A true enlightened centrist would be a perfect balance of the Destiny-style autist and the old-school Jordan Peterson-style schizo. Now, just to be clear, I obviously value facts and rational thinking, and even if I said I didn't, you'd know that was a lie, because I go to, one might say, autistic lengths to cite various neuroscientific and philosophical lectures, and spending dozens of hours making PowerPoint diagrams talking about transjective affordances and mimetic fitness, and all kinds of fact-based rational shit. My fundamental point is that I don't think factual analysis is a good persuasive tool. Aside from people outside the relatively skewed end of the personality distribution who are inherently interested in ideas, which is a small number of people, and is exactly the audience that would gravitate towards Destiny and people like him in the first place. Facts might not care about your feelings, but unless you are genuinely socially impaired, you will know that people rarely care about facts unless their feelings are accounted for first. But even that is a drastic oversimplification of the point I'm trying to make, and leaves out, the point about how all reasoning is motivated reasoning, how two people can say the exact same thing in the exact same way and have it perceived completely differently depending on the audience's preconceived emotional unconscious attitude towards each speaker, etc. Somewhere in Robert Sapolsky's human behavioral biology course, or whatever it's called, that I forgot to timestamp, he explains the structure of the cortical wiring of the human brain. And if you were to reduce my entire worldview to a single AI-generated model of neuronal wiring, it would look like this. The thick red tissue is the neuronal wiring that goes from your limbic system, which is where all your emotions and vibes are.
So even right here, he's doing something, he's burying the lead. He's not telling you why he's saying this thing. He'll say it at the end.
Your cortex, which is where your reasoning and thinking is done. The thin blue wiring from your cortex and to your limbic system. Sapolsky describes this as vines being wrapped around a tree trunk. There's way more neuronal projections going from your limbic system to your cortex than the other way around. The key point that understanding this neural architecture betrays is that your emotions, your intuitions, your vibes, all of that plays a much more fundamental role in your decision-making and your perceptions than you might otherwise think. And a lot of people struggle to come to terms with the fact that A, this is just how human nature works, and you are never going to change it, and you're much better adapting to it than trying to resist it.
Oh, that
And
argument.
most of the time, you should listen to your intuitions over your rational thinking. You may be familiar with Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow.
Okay, holy fuck, dude.
Neural biology course, or whatever it's called, that I forgot to timestamp. He explains the structure of the cortical wiring of the human brain. And if you were to reduce my entire worldview to a single AI-generated model of neuronal wiring, it would look like this. The thick red tissue reasoning and thinking is done. The thin blue wiring wrapped around the thick red tissue is the cortical wiring that goes from your cortex and to your
Strong neural going up from the limbic system to the fats.
limbic system. Sapolsky describes this as vines being wrapped around a tree trunk. There's way more neuronal projections going from your limbic system to your cortex than the other way around. The key point that understanding this neural architecture betrays is that your emotions, your intuitions, your vibes, all of that cortical wiring that goes from your cortex and to your limbic system. Sapolsky describes this as vine. Being wrapped around a tree trunk. There's way more neuronal projections going from your limbic system.
Right. Oh, holy fuck, dude. One, man, I love you. There's a lot here of what you're going for in terms of trying to understand what feelings and vibes are. I'm going to try and do my best to make sure that I'm validating your points, as well as giving you what I believe is constructive criticism of iron sharpens iron. That's my faith. My motivated reasoning is iron sharpens iron. So let's get into this argument of facts versus vibes.
Being wrapped around a tree trunk. There's way more neuronal projections going from your limbic system to your cortex than the other way around. The key point that understanding this neural architecture betrays is that your emotions, your intuitions, your vibes, all of that plays a much more fundamental role in your decision making and your perceptions than you might otherwise think. And a lot of people struggle to come to terms with the fact that A, this is just how human nature works and you are never going to change it and you're much better adapting to it than trying to resist it. And B, most of the time you should listen to your intuitions over your rational thinking. You may be familiar with Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, which is like the Bible of people who worship.
So, okay. First, with this whole strong neuronal projections going from the limbic system to the cortex. So this is where he's going with vibes, and then the cortex is facts. Now, this has to do with this whole thing of, at the very core base of everything that we're doing, we have a judgment standard by which we are analyzing truth and facts, and this is what we see. Here, when Paul goes to look at this specific thing, due to the degree of any of it being true, we have to go suss that out, not just go, hey, well, this thought leader says it. This scientist said it's true, so therefore it has to be. So, but what we constantly can do is do thought experiments of like, okay, given this is true, what does this mean? And his perception and his understanding is that means that we rely much more heavily on our vibes and our feelings, and he's right to a great degree. However, there's an incredible amount of this all has to do with focus of what we have. So like the whole, okay, so there's facts versus your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. Ben Shapiro's argument. Then we have Lauren Southern's argument of feelings don't care about your facts. I actually fervently believe that feelings care about facts to an incredible degree. And I call this the desire to know, where it has always been that whatever we perceive to be the best idea oh gosh, we need our scientists come up with antibiotics or vaccines, and it solves problems. It solves the issue to some degree, some good enough degree to where like, yeah, I'm willing to take whatever risks because not doing so is worse. So that's our feeling about the incredible survival of ourselves, understanding more and more about the complex world around us, of any negative thing that would ever happen to us, our judgment standard of the facts of what something is and how much we should learn how to mitigate it or deal with it or change in any way is all coming from our understanding of facts and our feelings having this stronger neural projections. Our feelings are constantly going towards a particular source, the facts. What are the facts, and how do I make a better decision here to ensure that my emotional, my physical, my financial health is better? So I'm doing more value in the decisions that I'm making. So this is all about the decisions that we're making over the best course of action to do for whatever complicated topic it is. And this is why ideological conflict has to be resolved. And I am really disappointed in Paul in saying that he doesn't think it's his job to convince Destiny or his audience of anything. It's absolutely terrible. It's not true. It is not true. That here, very specifically, we're dealing with one of the main arguments that I'm trying to show here is that to have a democracy, we must be measuring high rates of ideological conflict being resolved in the battle of ideas. Meaning that this right here means people are using their words to ideologically conflict. And what needs to go here is that the long list of the different forms of other warfares that cause contempt and resentment. Emotional coercion, cancel culture, so many different forms of manipulation, behavioral manipulation. There's just a lot here that people will use in all of these forms of warfare to force other people to, like, identity politics is a form of this, because what we're constantly dealing with is who. I think there's an overall pervasive thing inside of our society where whoever is right more often wins the throne. The throne of decisions. Oh my God. I don't know how to miss this up. But this right here, so we'll make it orange. So there's an unwritten subtext rule of a democracy. Whoever is, whoops, totally forgot an extremely important word here, proven to be right more often wins the throne of decisions. And this is true in all areas of life. Homeschool, work, and play, interpersonal relationships of just a small group of friends, to a family unit, to a small community, to really large 320 million United States people, citizens. So our national political discourse is, there's this unwritten rule, subtext rule of whoever's proven to be right more often wins. But the problem with who's proven to be right, the judgment standard by which we are proving somebody to be right, is vastly low. And this is how people are winning their ideological conflict and then forcing other people to adhere to what they think, they believe their morality is. And so Marxists will do this, or the feminists will do this, the right will do this. Every group, as soon as they get any amount of the different power to control the main two places of our national conversation over complicated and cultural issue, political topics and cultural issues, to our political system of where whatever is the best idea does to some degree get implemented into policy at some point, though there's a lot of problems with how soulless those things are and how much of it's actually representative of the average person and what they believe and what they want. or how much more of it, is towards the donor class, the ruling class. And again, all this has to do with the same thing over and over again. It is, how are we making decisions together? If I think that the thing you're going to do and you're going to implement is really wrong, and I can't convince you of that, I have to then use some other form of warfare to get you to stop, to not get political power, to not have any amount of even having a seat at the table that anyone should ever listen to you. And this is where we get into pejoratives being constantly used as pejorative slurs being used as a way to discredit somebody. Oh, that person's a racist, or that person's a fascist. Okay, no one should ever listen to them. Then we get into this argument right here. This is how human nature works, and you're never going to change it. Absolutely fucking terrible view. Legitimately. And there's just, I know, without even asking him, without even knowing, he already has high rates of patterns of this not being true. We can go over the gender war and how women have been treated in the United States of America over the last 200 years. And then we can also go over the racial lines thing from the civil rights movement. So he could go back there and make this exact same argument. Look at how racist everyone is. This is just how human nature works, and you're never going to change it. You could say the same thing before the first wave of feminism ever came out. Say the exact same thing. Look at and what people are doing is they're seeing the pattern recognition, the So if you're saying high rate, the overall simplistic way of saying this is if you're seeing high rates of people displaying very racist views, you believe are racist, you see high rates of people being racist, you see Jim Crow laws, you have so much pattern recognition in your specific experience, your anecdotal experience to go, oh, wow, this is how this racism thing is just human nature. This is just how it works. You're never going to change it. How many people were arguing against Martin Luther King there? Saying this is how things are. This is just human nature. You're going to change it. This is how. This argument's terrible, and a lot of people use it. And okay, so this is where we get into. So I want you to think of a person that fervently believes that whatever it is, whatever the specific thing is. So for him, it's for Paul here, it's that the limit system vibes is so much more of how we're making our decisions than facts are ever. And we're just constantly going off of feeling, intuition, vibes. And that this is how human nature works, and you're never going to change it. So what if he's wrong? What if he's really, really wrong? What if he's only like 20% right? Because I do think he's right. But he's only the portion of the truth that he's providing in the arguments on the complicated topic that he is giving his judgment claims on. What if he's only 20% right and he's 80% wrong? And due to the level that he's wrong, we actually don't solve any of these problems. And when a person it fervently believes that, no, this is just how human nature works, you're never going to change it, and they really believe that on whatever the topic is. Again, we can go to racism, we can go to sexism, we can go to here on how we're arriving at truth and whether or not it's more vibes versus facts, which basically would be, this would be EQ, emotional quotient, versus IQ. that when a person fervently believes this, they will avoid your argument all day long, and they will net the extreme levels of their motivated reasoning because they believe you're never going to change this because of this belief. This is how it is. This is an objective truth of about human nature and how it works. This is my judgment claim. You can't criticize my judgment claim. But anyways, you're never going to change it. So you might as well adapt versus ever trying to resist against it. There's a good argument there, sure. It always comes down to this main problem of avoiding the argument. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to show people, that we're manufacturing contempt. Oh shit! I put all that in there. I'm shooting for an hour 22. Let's say 35 minutes. I'm not sure. Oh. Oh, I should have looked at the recording time. I didn't look. Should be able to see it. It's last video, so 15 minutes. All right. Then, okay. So we have the individual videos that I'm going to make that are like these shorter. So judgment standard. I'm having a hard time organizing this. debating making a video with my daughter. So I can just edit everything and then find judging people as delete that. Okay, so where we're judging people. In the courts of public opinion. And I'm trying to make it to where there's just one place I go to that has like all of the stuff. What is that? This looks like all stuff that should go in Workbench. And we just need to analyze how we solve this. This. And if they're wrong, well, Yeah, I already have it here. So loud. Ugh. Where's this going? Oh. Oh. There we go. Those helps. This into. How do you just remove all of the numbers in between? I need another timer for timer 35. I am having a hard time using OneNote to put all these ideas in one place. Um, okay. What happens if I copy this and hmm, okay. What if I'm punched in like this? Then I really don't see a whole lot. So I can make this even taller. Take a lot of these, move them down. Whoops. Put us. Okay. And move as with the same options are there. Maybe if I highlight this. No. maybe this one could be open. So what I'm thinking I have to do is create a Google drawing with just this top part. Or okay. Um okay, so then if I go file download. Let's try this one first. And let's see if new slide, blank, insert picture, this device, downloads. Okay. So let's do slide 2, blank. So just this. No, I'm gonna see if I don't even have like that. Maybe I just make it bigger. Okay, so the chicken's done. Oh, background. So, whoops. This would be 2. Okay. So far, so good, right? You could make this taller. Yeah, I got the chicken. Okay. Oh shit. Oh. Um, Hmm. Okay, so I want this with any sideways instead. What the fuck? Oh,